Welcome to Hard Truths with Hardy, where you get the real truth and not the sugar-coated version, because you know that ain't my style. Today we're going to talk a little bit about staging. Before we get into that, let me tell you about a place that I recently visited. We are in Rock Gardens here in Sevier County, Tennessee. I decided to stop in at a restaurant I'd never been to. I had one of my new agents with me, Riley, so we went to Holston's Kitchen. If you've not been, it's so good. It's definitely one to try out, whether you're visiting the area or you're local. I had the open-faced roast beef. Delicious, delicious, delicious. In fact, I might talk these ladies filming the podcast with me into going there today if they'd like. Today we're here. We're filming off-site, not in my office where we usually film, because I thought it would be a nice change to get out into some of our new construction homes so that our viewers could see what the homes look like. And honestly, it's just a nice change of pace for us to get out of the office and do something different. We enjoy a change of pace too. So let's talk about staging today. If you're wondering what staging is or what your agent's talking about when they mention staging, everybody loves to come into a home and see a beautiful home, right? It helps you get an idea of what you might like. It lets you see what the house could be. And honestly, sometimes it's much easier to see it than a blank canvas. Like, we don't need the bedroom set up. We just need a little decor in the kitchen to spice it up, a little something in the living room. It gives people an idea of where furniture might go. It gets them thinking of what the house could be. And that's what I like. I think too much staging can be a negative. So if you're in a home and you're getting ready to sell and your furniture's already in there, that's okay. But when you need to think about staging is when maybe all your furniture doesn't go together, it doesn't match, maybe it's worn out, it doesn't present well for people to come in. Those are the times that we really talk to people about staging. Or when the home is empty and it's hard for people to get a visual. Lately, people have gotten into virtual staging. That's okay. I'm not honestly much of a fan. It's better than nothing because you can virtually stage a home, but sometimes it doesn't set the room up correctly or it moves the walls. That's why I'm not really a big fan of virtual staging. I like the real thing. But we do suggest staging sometimes when you're getting ready to list because we want the home to present as well as possible. We want minimal items on the countertop. We don't want a ton of pictures in the house of you and your family because we want that buyer to come in and visualize, what would this house look like for me and my family? They don't need to imagine you and your family in it. They need to think about themselves, right? So staging is really a vehicle to get people thinking about how that home could be theirs and what it might look like. Let's take a step back. Besides just the things you can place around a home, there are other things that take part in staging or getting a home ready. I'll tell you one of my pet peeves. Paint, in my opinion, should be neutral and or tasteful. And what I mean by that is, we know little kids love pink and purple bedrooms, orange bedrooms if you're a Tennessee fan. I'm not a fan of these things. I'm a fan of neutral paint. Because when I go to list a house and the bedrooms are pink or purple, that is not pleasing to the masses. That is pleasing to a small population of people. And my job is to get your house to be appealing to a lot of people. Because when a lot of people like it, we get more offers, right? So appealing to only a few people doesn't help me sell the house. So when people talk about painting kids' bedrooms, you'll always hear me suggest, let's do neutral paint. You can buy bedding, pillows, pictures, flowers, all kinds of decor in any color you want to, because those things can be easily replaced. Painting, while not the end of the world, takes a little more time. And so that's a little harder to do than just changing out the decor. So I say stay neutral on that paint. Let's not go pink, purple, or, any kind of crazy chartreuse or anything wild, because again, we want to appeal to the masses. Now, if you're somebody that's willing to paint right before you list the house, then do whatever crazy color you want, because you know you're probably going to have to paint it again before you list. Should your home be empty or should it be staged? Well, in some cases, empty is better than the way it looks. That's just me being honest. If there's dog furniture and cat furniture everywhere, then we may say moving out might be a better option than you staying with all your furniture. Or if the house is really cluttered, again, that may be a better option than keeping everything in it. So there's a case to be made for just about any scenario. And you should really trust your realtor to come in and give you suggestions, because our goal is the same as yours, to sell your house as fast as we can for as much as we can, right? We don't want to work against you. We don't want to make the job harder. We want to look for ways to get more people into your home and sell it as quickly and for as much money as possible. So having done a lot of new construction in my real estate career, I've seen a lot of different things. I have sold homes where the builder had the house staged and the buyer came in and wanted to buy everything with it. Now, typically a builder will say no to that because they use their staging furniture over and over again. But if they've had the staging stuff for a little while and they're willing to part with it, I had a house probably about 3 years ago where the buyer was moving in. She had foster children. She didn't have a ton of time. She wanted to buy it with everything in the house. I asked the builder, thought they'd say no, but they told me she could have every single thing in the house for an extra $10,000. And it had pictures on the wall. It literally was furnished and you can move right in without hanging pictures or anything. So we did that. We did it on a separate bill of sale and she took it. It worked out great. She still has some of that furniture to this day, and I still work with that client all the time. Another scenario I've seen come up lately, people will say, can I keep the staging? Usually we don't do that, but on occasion we'll negotiate that out. But what if the builder forgets to take all the staging out of the home? I recently saw a case where a buyer bought a house. She walked into the house for the first time after closing, after she'd already gotten the keys, and ta-da, the builder forgot to take all the staging out of the home. Well, let me tell you what that situation is. If you bought it and it's in that home when you bought it, you now own it. So you may be a nice and gracious person and let them come back and get it, but technically, if it's in it when you signed, you own it. So I don't think that scenario happens very often, but could it happen? It could, and you could become the owner of some brand new staging and furniture. Here's the hard truth. If you're thinking about painting, especially if it's a color that not everyone would like, give that some thought. Is that really what you want to do? Are you willing to paint again before you have to sell? And if you are, then do whatever you want. If you think you might not want to paint in the future, then maybe reconsider that and go with a neutral and just do decor items that you can do in whatever wild and crazy colors you and your children like. As far as staging, I think that's definitely an individual circumstance. Consult with your agent. Hopefully that's me and not somebody else. Consult with your agent and they can give you great advice on whether staging might be a good idea for your home or if we maybe just need to minimize what you already have in there. And sometimes you walk into a house like I did recently and the seller had done a beautiful job with setting up the home and we didn't have to do a thing in order to get it ready to sell. As always, you'll get the hard truths here with me, Gail Hardy. And if you're looking to buy or sell in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, give me a call. Me or my team would be happy to help you. And as always, our new podcasts come out on Wednesdays. You can find us on Spotify or YouTube, and you can always link to us from your favorite social media platform. We'll see you next week on Hard Truths with Hardy.